What's going on, guys? Today we have the eBay Turbo Drift BRZ on jack stands. We're gonna go around and do a bolt check on everything. I wanna take out the coilovers because on the rear, I'm hearing some knocking around. So I think all I have to do is remove that dampening knob and tighten that bolt down underneath. Without further ado, let's start taking some stuff off. Okay, so right now we have taken the wheels off. I've taken out the trunk cover in the back and loosened up the bolts over there. I'm not going to remove them completely yet. We are going to drop underneath and remove the bolts on the lower control arms and drop that whole system and continue on. Something I like to do after is also line my bolts up like that, so I know this right here is the one closest to us and farthest away. Also, which way they need to be oriented, so they all kind of go like that. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is clean these top hats up a little bit. Looks like there's a little bit of dust or something getting in there, so I want to make sure these are here stay clean and free of crud. After I spray that down a little bit, I'm going to pop this bolt off. And I actually tried to remove the head on this dampening knob. I have them set to their full stiffness right now and see if I can tighten that down, because I believe that that's where that knocking is coming from. All right, that's plenty tight. So it's best to believe that our issue is coming from this right here being loose. Right now that I got both of them out, I already cleaned the top of this top hat up. I'm gonna do the same on this. I'm going to check their height. As you can see right here, they are significantly different. This one right here, I realized I still had a bunch of adjustment left, so that's why I set that one up. I will set it back to the same height as this one, so I just know that I'm leveling them up equally, and I'm seeing how much of a difference I'm making. Cool. I had an issue on the front because the coilovers were seized up. A lot of people will lower coilovers, and myself included. I'm also guilty of this by actually messing with the preload. So the preload's only supposed to be about the width of a spanner wrench according to BC, and these right here were lowered down with that. So the problem I was having was that locking collar was seized up, and I actually had to let it soak and break it free. But as you can see, we're able to get the front pretty significantly lowered. I think I lowered it about another 1.5 inches in the front, which this is the way that I wanted it to look all along. I didn't know if the Swiss springs were playing a role into why it was sitting so high, because again, I had BCs before, if you remember in the beginning of this video, me talking about, but for some reason this was sitting so much higher. So I'm happy with the way that it looks right now. It looks fantastic. We have the compressor housing coming in. I already have the wastegate. I need to heat up the actuator arm and make it form right to the turbine housing. And then, yeah, like I said, put the compressor housing on, and then we are gonna be good for Niota Drift on Saturday. And I am super hyped about that. Had some people ask about doing videos at the track. So we are gonna make it happen. Here we are, it's looking good. All right guys, it is a new day, as you can tell by this clean coverall set. Shout out to Travis for that. Today, we are going to be finishing up some prep on the eBay Turbo BRZ in order to get ready for Niota. I got the compressor housing in, which we are gonna replace, as well as the Turbosmart actuator arm. So I have to heat that up and mock the shape of the old one, so we make sure everything fits good. Last night, when the camera was off and I lowered this and I took it off the blocks, I heard a loud metal snap. I actually thought I backed into the jack. So I'm gonna take that wheel back off and check the control arm end links to make sure nothing broke. I did end up going inside and ordering some white line adjustable ones anyway that is needed because the old end link was actually hitting the control arm a little bit. And it nicked it a little bit, but not significantly enough for me to think that we won't be able to drift on it. So we are going to knock out that compressor housing, jack it back up and inspect everything under there. I also want to wait until those end links come in before I run it and see if it's still overboosting. But without further ado, let's start. After taking apart the old turbo, here's the new compressor housing, old compressor housing, old wastegate, and I made the amateur mistake of ordering a wastegate whose actuator arm is extremely too long. This thing's about twice as long as the old one. The old one's 3.5 inches, taken into account with the bends and whatnot. And that one I didn't even bother measuring because it was way too long. So for now, we're going to transfer this over to here. I'm going to have to tap this out in order to fit my nipple. I'm debating on going there again. I might run it up here. I think I like up here better, just because last time I had to actually shave this 12 mil down to be really thin in order to fit in there, and I don't feel like doing that again. So, with that being said, we are going to tap, I think, a source right here. We have our T-fitting here. I was a little confused because one end has this metal brass reducer in it, and this actually goes towards your boost gauge. So we're gonna tap into it, kind of wide off like that, and then run this down to this top part on the electronic boost controller, and then button everything up. We should be good to move on to checking those control arm end links. So we have cut and tapped out, or made new threads, whatever, tapped or dyed, I don't know which one's which, but new threads onto here. Looks good. Made it about the same height as the one I need. Now I'm currently tapping out the old actuator arm in order to get it to slide onto the new one, since this didn't come with one. But we're gonna knock that out real quick and continue on. All right, so you can see we're smoking pretty good here. Matches this one right here. This, our custom made wastegate. We're gonna throw it in there. It is a tight fit now, very tight. We're gonna throw this in there and take it out for another test drive. Seemed to hold a lot better than before. She's not just jumping on up to whatever she feels like. So I think this right here is a job well done, and we're ready for Niota. All right guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I definitely put a lot more work into this one than I have previous videos. If you like that style, let me know and I can continue to make them like that. I believe we are ready for Niota Drift. There still is a slight overboosting issue, but I believe at this point it might be something within the tune. I mean, all our vacuum lines are good. We just put in a nice Turbosmart Wastegate. It's holding a lot better. It's not spiking so fast, but it's something that I will have Doug look at November 1st when we go to DBW. So until next time guys, peace.